allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Grimminger?
Here.
Alderwoman Caldwell? Here. Alderman Couch?
Here.
Alderman John Stupi?
Here.
Alderman Jokers?
Here.
Alderman Hook?
Here.
Alderman Donna Stupi?
Here.
Alderman Prince?
Here.
Alderman Mazuka?
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Move approval. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Personal appearances. Morton, I think we'll do you.
Okay. First item on the agenda on my report has to do with work that some of the aldermen have been involved with over in LaCroix, where citizens have been requesting additional street lights. Citizens Electric will provide those lights without any upfront charge if they're within 300 feet of their existing service. Then they will charge us an average, and because every street light's kind of different, but it costs about $5.49 a month, $5.50 on average for a street light. So that would be the cost we would be incurring. So I'm going to stop here and let Alderman Donnie
Okay,
talk
that's the only
about
street probably in town that doesn't have any lights at all. It's awful dark back there. It goes into the dead end before you turn to go to those other streets. There is a pole down at the end of the property there. There are kids there that play down by that creek and walk up at night.
Donnie, is it within 300 feet of an existing service?
Should be. There's a light pole.
And there are two of them that the citizens are requesting.
Well, we don't have to do it.
Right.
Is that all?
We don't do anything. We just
Yeah, I was going to ask, do they
We
want
just
more
pay the
than
bill.
one?
We pay the bill, that's all we do.
Tommy Steiger said we could put one on his lot, and then maybe if we put them down at the dead end there,
that would get one kind of
A lot of poles.
Yeah,
down
get
there.
them
the
two or
pole
three
is
if
there
we need
at the
them.
dead
One
end, but
pole's
we'd have to
up.
put one in Tommy's
Is two enough?
lot there. Huh?
Is two?
Two would be enough.
Two is enough?
Okay, and we looked at the files, and in the past, you've just done this by a motion. We haven't had any resolutions or anything, so somebody wants to
I'll make a
move.
motion to put street lights up there.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, I know it seems like it's been a long time that we've been talking about FEMA flood damages, but we've had two meetings with FEMA, and I keep asking the questions I want to get answered, and they keep telling me I have to wait till the next meeting. I think the final meeting, I got contacted yesterday by FEMA about their scheduling a meeting sometime in the next 10 days. I wanted to make sure that I'm the person to deal with. And we have the data on the flood cleanup work, and the big question here is the 3rd Street bridge damage. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, just go back there and put more asphalt down and wait for the next flood to come along and strip out the asphalt. So we want to get FEMA's approval to put down concrete, and initially it was going to be approached as a mitigation project because the concrete would solve the problem a little more permanently. But if they'll let us do it with our own forces, it won't cost anymore, and we'll get a better product. But I can't just go out and do it. Except I know I could go out and replace the asphalt, and we would get compensated for it. But I can't do the concrete without having that meeting and getting them to say go ahead and do it. So I'm looking forward in the next week or following week to having that meeting and getting that final answer and proceeding with the repair.
Okay, if we repair this with concrete, okay, we go in there and we take off the asphalt that's there right now, all right, correct?
Correct.
And we put how many inches of concrete down?
Probably 4 inches of concrete.
All right. But that's going to be on top of, what's it sitting on?
Well, it's on a gravel base, so it'll be on top of the gravel, but the issue with what's happened is the street was paved and overlaid, so you had, and the water got in between those layers and just peeled back the asphalt. So rather than just putting back that layer of asphalt, we want to take out the asphalt that's still there
And do that,
and
okay.
then put in 4 inches of concrete. Actually, it might be 6, but whatever the depth is of the asphalt that's missing, will come back up to match the grade.
But it's not the whole width of the.
No, just the part that's missing, the damaged part. There've been some, you approved Ron Coleman's project for the TIF, and we haven't really heard much from him. The clock's running, so I gave him a call, and he says he's contracted with Bowman to do it, and they're just behind, and they'll get to it, and they told him they'd get to it in the next several weeks. The auction for the fire truck is on govdeals.com, ends on the 10th, which is tomorrow.
Are there any current bids?
$2,000 is the highest bid we have so far.
One I thought.
Now, we can reject the bid, but and maybe it'll go up between now and then. If I get 2,000 or more, it's kind of in the ballpark, you think?
How soon do you have to answer that? When the
Well,
bids
the
go
bid will
out?
be over, and then they want to know.
They want to know,
then-
so we need to give you some direction.
Right.
I have a whole lot of questions about this, but I'm not gonna answer, because you guys went through this months ago, before I was on
Well,
the board,
the
so
question for me is,
I'm not gonna do it.
does that exceed its scrap value?
What do you think, John?
That's-
You get $2,000 for it, we'd move it, or else park it back out there at the fire station. I wouldn't be surprised at $2,000. If somebody wanted to buy it to scrap it out.
John,
they
what's
would-
scrap
they would do
value
that.
worth?
$180 a ton?
Yeah.
180, less than that?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gone way down.
It's under 100.
Yeah.
Gone that down? Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's.
All right, so the chances of doing better than that are not very good.
You got any other outlets you do any better at?
Flip of a coin.
Yeah.
Do what, John?
Are they gonna come
Flip
get
of
it?
a coin.
Yeah,
50/50,
this is,
maybe.
as is, where it is.
As is where.
They have
it
to
is.
No transportation
If they
cost.
come and get it,
Once it leaves the lot,
We're done.
we're done.
You may try another place and only get 1,000, so.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
You
proceed.
probably ought to just go with what
do it
you
and
can get at this point.
get it done.
Yep,
Do we wanna fix it?
we've been through that
Yeah.
so much.
Rick,
So,
bite your tongue.
you recall that tomorrow night is
I would
the
say
meeting
yes,
of
but
the
we went down that road.
National Park Service at the Community Center to review their report and recommendations. The meeting starts at 5:30 as an open house. There's going to be there with storyboards up and be prepared to answer questions. The group that's been meeting kind of in anticipation of that really felt that you ought to give an opportunity for people to kind of make a public statement. So the last half hour will be for public comments. Toby Carrick's a neutral party has agreed to moderate that. And I know there are at least 2 groups of people who want to speak in favor and wanted the opportunity to be heard. So they will have that opportunity. We talked about the guy who wants to explore we call them the sinkholes, he calls them caves. So after consulting with Frank and the city of Perryville where they're working, Frank seemed to think it was okay, and Perryville says they're good people to work with, so I gave the guy the go-ahead to proceed. On Point-Based Drive, my original conversations with Cochran about trying to do this kind of a basic set of bid specs was based on the assumption that the curbs would remain in place. So he sent his engineer down here and inspected it, and the curbs aren't separate from the asphalt. They're integrated, the integral curves, those rolled curves. And so once you tear it up, you lose all your controls. There's no way to reset the grade. So he said, we won't do it unless we have to produce a set of drawings, and gave me a price. And so I said, that's too much money. So I notified 3 other engineers to get estimates on doing that work, and we'll proceed with the lowest and best of those.
I'm a bit perplexed by that because you're not doing the whole street. Can't they just go by what's on either side of what they tear out? I mean, I believe that's maybe an oversimplification, but what is it that he can't figure out?
Well, that's a good question.
You know, I don't quite fathom that, but what
No
is it?
different than cutting a piece out of the floor in a building.
Right, you
Just-
join, unless you're doing
several hundred feet. You know,
Right, but I mean.
We're doing 570 lineal feet.
Then you're.
What you're saying,
contour-
Randy, is just go and cut it out and patch it into the curb, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you still, it's got the rounded curbs, I understand that are poured in, but we're not taking the whole street out, we're taking, a piece out. So you got a profile here, and you got a profile here, I don't understand why they can't just make it work.
I guess with taking out 500, I guess when Martin told me, I said, well, if we did a section at a time, just
Well,
do what you said.
I guess that's what I'm.
Take a string and go from this section to this.
Exactly.
But doing that many feet is going to be kind of tough to be able to do something.
I mean, I'm just thinking about trying to keep the cost down and not make it more complicated than it needs to be.
I think we better go with whatever the engineer tells us to do.
Well, let me talk to him about that, see what he says.
But we still haven't decided which way to go with this
Right.
asphalt or concrete.
No, you have.
We have?
Well, you asked me to inquire of engineers as to their recommendation and meet with, and we decided concrete was the way to go.
All right.
Okay.
When we had our last meeting, I told you that we were anticipating a conversation with Standard & Poor's on our bond rating. That conversation took place. We preserved our AA bond rating, but we're given a negative status, which is kind of where we were anyway, because of the size of our reserves. When you read the report, it's really very positive about the city and our financial management, and they like everything except the size of our reserve account. And they'll only count the general revenue reserves. Now, the thing that's got us a little confused, and we're going to follow up on that, is we have cash reserves that are carryover and CDs, and if you count both of those, we're pretty close to what it is where they want us to be. And I think all they're counting appears to be our cash reserves. So we'll have that conversation. But they want us to be at $500,000, which would mean kind of doubling our cash reserve between now and the end of next year. And it's going to be better, we think, but probably not double.
But if we considered everything that we have and CDs and everything, we're there.
Yeah, but they won't consider anything but the general fund, because everything else is a dedicated fund and can't be used. I can't use the transportation trust fund, to fix a water tower, and vice versa.
That was the email you sent, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I got the plat for the ball field property to deed to the school district, but it didn't conclude an easement for the trail, because Bader, who produced the plat, said he just couldn't figure out how to do that. So I sent a request to Joe Gable, who did the plans, to just write me a description of the easement we need, and we'll just attach it to the plat when we record it. And
That property doesn't go on to the tennis courts, does it?
no,
It's right, just takes in right there by the fence.
just the ball field.
I mean, where the trail's at.
Up, but not to the, just, not up to the trail. Kind of up the hill before you get to the trail.
We're talking the new trail. We don't have the easement on
I was thinking about the walking trail.
No, the old trail's not.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
The
thanks.
new trail.
So we received a letter from the Special Road District who said that because of the money that they had to spend for flood damage repair, that they don't have the available funds to pay us. I called Paul Arnold, who's on the commission, and said, "But aren't you going to get reimbursement from FEMA like the rest of us?" "Well, yeah, if we get that, then we can make it." I said, "Okay." You're not giving up on us. He said, "No, the cash flow is the problem." And so he said if the kind of reimbursement they're expecting, they'll be back where they should be and be able to continue.
Did they tell you how much they were expecting?
I didn't ask.
I was just curious.
I don't quite understand why that would even be a question. We had that money coming to us, so.
No, the statute said that the Special Road District may give up to 25% of the revenue that comes from city residents. Doesn't say they have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, it's there.
May be different than shall.
Yeah.
So, we got a pleasant, I got a little extra comment there, some pleasant news from our insurance agency. Because the city has done a good job of managing our risk and not filing workman's comp claims or damage claims, we get a good customer rebate, and it was 2% of our premium, $2,232.60. So I think that credit belongs to our employees and the department heads.
Yeah.
And finally, you may have noticed some work occurring on the 4th Street rail crossing. I think we have to thank Rod Shearer and Alderman Hook for getting that initiated. I was a little disappointed that UP only sent one man, no equipment.
It was a start.
So Mississippi Lime brought their backhoe and operator down with a grabber on it, and we provided the labor to shovels and to help the guy get the thing cleaned out. But when they pulled it up, what they discovered was that they couldn't just fix it and put it back down because there's this rubber seal. I say rubber, it's some material like rubber around the slabs that when you set it back down seals it from getting water and debris underneath it, like what happened. That's what had failed over the years. So they had to order those. In the meantime, we set the slabs back as best we lined them up and got them as smooth as we could, and put in some inch minus to fill the cracks, and they'll be coming back.
Yeah, this is a temporary patch.
Right.
They've said that. They have to come back, and what the guys said from the railroad, what they'd really like to do is raise that whole thing eventually and put some asphalt out, both ways to a general transition is what is what they want to do.
Well,
But he said, this is just the first step. We have this done now. But he said, we'll keep on this and we'll get it done the rest of the way.
we'll all look forward to that.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
we
the
got
start.
this done.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Rick.
Start.
No big deal.
And that concludes my report, and I'll field any questions you may have about any other matters that I didn't cover.
Thank you. Okay. All right, thanks. Dave?
They apparently,
Dave,
the one that got screwed up by the
all
5:30.
right.
What about Dave? Is he all right?
Yeah, Dave's fine.
Didn't he have something? He was off today, wasn't he?
What's wrong?
Oh, that's why. Okay, let's see.
That's what marriage does to you.
Maybe that's it.
A wasp.
That's talking about wasp. Boy,
Let's
that
go to Eric.
covers that. That's all.
Good evening,
Chief, how are you, buddy?
and ladies. I don't have much to report. If you guys have any questions, I can answer them.
Well, good, thank you. We'll move on.
All right.
That's for Eric.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, good job. Okay.
Sandra, see if you can get by.
I don't know if I can beat that.
We hope you
Kind of up to you.
Well, Martin already covered one of my topics, so I'm good there.
Let's get this
Here, if
done
you
right
would
away.
be so kind as to take one and pass them down.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it is a short report tonight. That's the good news. Statistics of the month of August, we had 3,342 individuals through the Welcome Center compared to last year's number of 3,303. You do have a bracket on the back side of your report sheet that shows the individual visitors by month. And you can see August there edging slightly higher than August of last year. And it was the strongest August in a few years. Passport sales, we had 184 adults and 13 student passports sold in the month of August. That was 50 more on adult passports than last year. That was the best total figure for August in the past 4 years. Martin mentioned earlier, I had it in my report, just a reminder that the meeting is tomorrow evening at the St. Genevieve County Community Center, beginning at 5:30 with the open house format, and then 7 o'clock for a moderated discussion and public comments. This will be in the meeting room number 2, where the Chamber of Commerce meetings are usually held. The National Park Service staff surprised me this afternoon by dropping by the Welcome Center, and so I had a chance to visit with them a little bit this afternoon, and they're looking forward to it. I guess they're always a little cautious when they come into a community because they've had some positive experiences and some not so positive experiences. I told them that everyone here is very much looking forward to this. It's something we've been waiting on for 10 years now, and we've had a lot of really positive comments come out of it, and we're looking forward to hearing from some of those organizations tomorrow night. Upcoming other things, this Saturday is the Civil War Living History event. This is a biennial event here in St. Genevieve, and that's during the day down at the Moses Austin Park, and then the evening will be the 3rd annual River Hills Power Pole event at the fairgrounds, always a popular item. And we have recently been getting written up in a few publications. They tend to be, well, the most recent is Good Housekeeping, and this is a Hearst media publication, and so they also own House Beautiful magazine and Country Living magazine. And so all these award programs pick one community in each state. This category happens to be the 50 most beautiful small towns of America. So we were written up in 3 so far of the Hearst publication, the most recent being Good Housekeeping. So we're really excited about that, and we've added that to our list of accolades, which we have on our website. And so, you know, we're always looking to tout that. I also brought with me this evening a copy of the National Park Service Special Resource Report on Environmental Assessment. This is what people are commenting on tomorrow evening. This is also on our website. If you go to visitstgen.com, in the upper right-hand corner, you can click on this, and it also takes you directly to where you can submit comments. And those comments, even though the meeting is tomorrow night, those comments will be open until September 25th. So if there's someone that can't get there tomorrow evening, has comments, or even wants to come to the meeting and learn a little bit more about it, and then submit comments, that comment period is open until September 25th. So that's my report, and if anyone, yes?
Where do those people come from? Are they from
So,
Missouri, or are they from?
so they're the regional National Park Service staff. One of them is the director out of their Denver, Colorado office. One of them is Kansas City, and I think the other one might be Washington, D.C.
Oh,
Yeah.
798 gonna be there tomorrow night?
Yes.
Televised.
Yes. So you can watch it from home if you want.
Senator would also like to recognize Sweet Things for making a list
Yes.
of the candy stores
Yes.
in Missouri.
They were written up in an online blog today about the top, I think 15 or maybe 20 candy shops in the state of Missouri. So,
Really? That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's really
So we shared that on
they're number
Visit
5.
St. Gen. I'm sure
Exactly.
Downtown New probably shared it as well. All kinds of good news. And we're also starting a class for small businesses. Speaking of small businesses, starts next week on Tuesday and Thursday nights at the community center. If there's anyone who's been thinking about starting a small business, maybe you've already gone ahead and started, and you would like to go over, you know, some of the basics like financials and things like that. If you've ever had a question and think you'd benefit from it, it's called Money Smart for Small Business. It will be 10 classes taught over a series of 5 evenings. We're partnering with the Southeast Economic Development Fund, and also the curriculum has been developed by the FDIC and the Small Business Administration. And local individuals have signed on to be the subject matter experts and help teach the classes. So we've already got, I think, about 8 people signed up. So looking forward to that. If there's anyone listening who hasn't registered, it's free to attend, but you do have to call and register, and that's 883-7097.
There was a,
It's September 15th through the 29th, Tuesday and Thursday nights at 5:30 at the community center.
It's a fantastic class. I took it in Park Hills.
so is this similar to the class that was held 3 years ago?
It's similar, but it really focuses mostly on financial, legal, accounting, and tax issues. So doesn't it go into things like marketing and, but it does talk about succession planning, which I think is really important because when you're ready to retire or just tired of doing business, you have assets that you have built up in that business, the equity in the business, and it's a shame for you and a shame for the community if you just walk away from it as opposed to have a plan to transition that business both for your assets and for the community. So succession planning is one of the final nights of the class too. So if anyone wants to sign up, just call down to the Welcome Center. We have a running list of the RSVPs. We could probably take up to 20, and I think we're under 10 right now, but still really pleased with the number that we have. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got any reports from the board?
I will bring up one thing, and there were some people who moved in my neighborhood on Cedar Lane. Really nice people, very nice people. And she was concerned about a dog park in St. Genevieve. And I said, well, this has been started, but it's kind of stopped, and where are we on that?
The person who started it was trying to get his Eagle Scout.
Right.
And he timed out.
Okay.
But the parents have hired a local fence company. He had all the materials and everything ready to go. And they gave it to this fence company. And he has received payment to finish it. It hadn't happened yet, but that's their plan.
Okay.
Who maintains that? Like mows the grass?
We
and
do.
all?
We maintain the grounds. But we made sure it was designed so that we could get moors in there and there's no obstructions. I mean, we're cutting it anyway, so it's just a difference of whether we cut it with a fence.
And
or
that's
without.
still on that buyout lot on 3rd Street over
Right,
there?
right.
Yeah, okay. Who's liable for that?
Well,
We're already liable for it.
Right, okay.
we checked with the insurance company to see if putting a dog park on one of our public places created additional liability, and they said, no, we're covered by our blanket policy.
Okay.
No, them guys don't have to watch out for little piles when they're mowing, do they?
We're supposed to pick it up.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, it'll need a sign, you can make these things really elaborate.
Some people will, some people won't.
The city ordinance requires you to pick up
Right.
after your dog.
Right.
That'd be the.
Now, we know not everybody does it, but if you're not doing it in a dog park where we can kind of got you fenced in, it's gonna be a little easier to enforce and get the message out. It's a little harder when people are walking down the street and you have to catch them when the dog's doing his business.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So she was happy that, or did you inform her that
No, I
it
told
was
her,
partly finished?
I think it was in the I told her, I think we're in the progress of doing this.
It's just
I
not
said-
our project.
But I said, I'm not sure where we are right now, and I would let her know. And her husband also told me he'd like to be on some kind of committee in St. Genevieve. since
Well,
they
we can
moved
handle
there.
that.
Probably fix him up.
Yeah.
Do you express any particular area of interest?
She just, I want to be on, I'm here in St. Genevieve, I love it, I want to be on some kind of committee.
Okay.
Great, well, that's great.
Okay, going to the minutes of August the 27th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution 2015-43, a resolution reappointing Mary Beth Ferguson to the St. Genevieve Tourism Advisory Council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Resolution 2015-44, resolution reappointing Jan Brons to the St. Genevieve Tourism Advisory Council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Old business, bill number 4056, second reading.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 budget relating to the Tourism Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
What did you say, Bud?
I said fund
Heard number
budget
23, we just need two, right?
Roll call?
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderman Stupi.
Yes.
John Stupi. Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Downey Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Rozika.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4056 now becomes 3992.
Thank you. Bill number 4057, second reading.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 budget relating to the general fund budget number 10, Department number 16, Police.
Second.
Roll call?
Alderman Rozika.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes.
Alderwoman Codwell.
Yes.
I just want to bring up that, we've got to outfit these vehicles, and we've only got the 30 days, 2 weeks to get it done. So it's unlikely that the money that's being spent for lights and kind of get done before the end of the fiscal year. So if it does, great. If not, we'll be coming back right after to do a budget amendment just to catch up with what didn't get spent.
Sort of along that line, Chief Bennett brought up that I think Perryville had put on their cars "In God We Trust," and he mentioned he might want to do that here. And I'm sure he doesn't need approval or anything from us, but I think it's a great idea, and I just wonder if you have any further plans on getting that done, Eric?
Potentially. I've not bid that work yet, but it's certainly something that we're entertaining.
Do I need to finish it?
I guess you better.
8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4057 now becomes ordinance 3993. That's okay.
Thank you. Bill number 4058, second reading.
An ordinance amending Chapter 110, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, Section 110.210, Order of Business and the Agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Alderman Jokers.
Yeah.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Couch.
Yes. I got a little, sorry. I was ready.
You were on point.
I was.
Alderwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Rozika.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4058 now becomes ordinance 3994.
Thank you. Bill number 4059, second reading.
An ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve fiscal year 2015 budget relating to the water fund budget number 30.
What is this, Martin?
Steve, what is your budget amendment for water? You have to, it's the issuance cost on the certificates of participation that we issued to fund the work that's going on now.
Right.
Well, it wasn't in our budget. It comes out of bond proceeds, so it's not money we had to use from somewhere else. We just didn't have a line item out of which to pay it, so we had to create one.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Alderman Couch.
Thank you, yes.
Alderman Codwell.
Yes.
Alderman John Stupi.
Yeah.
Alderman Jokers.
Yes.
Alderman Rozika.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Donnie Stupi.
Yes.
Alderman Hook.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4059 now becomes ordinance 3995.
Thank you. New business, bill number 4060, first reading.
An ordinance approving the budget for the City of St. Genevieve for fiscal year 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Bill number 4061, first reading.
An ordinance approving change order number 2 in the amount of $3,686 and a final contract amount of $932,052 on a contract with Teagery Contracting Incorporated of Bloomsdale, Missouri for the St. Genevieve Water Main Replacement Project number 14-5960.
And this was
This is the
This is
additions and
street.
subtractions that lead us to getting to the paved 7th Street for $3,686.
Which is one hell of a deal.
Move to approve.
Second.
That is.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public comments, anyone? Anybody like to address the board?
Did you put me on?
Yeah, you're on the order.
Okay.
Well, she's not under public comment, she's on next.
All right, well, the
You're
number,
on next.
go ahead.
Yes, no, yes.
Now,
Well, you go ahead. Under other business, we have the approval request from the Downtown Renewal to use Main Street Park for after-party street dance for the September 4th Friday Art Walk, which would be
The
September
25th.
25th of September.
It's our plein air event, so we thought it would just be a great way to end it that night. We gather somewhere between like 9:15 and 9:30. We have the drawing at 9:30, so we were only going to play music till 10. But we thought we could all gather there. Hopefully the weather is nice and we can just have an evening outside. Spear Burgers is going to be set up there earlier that day. So we just thought it would be, the reception for plein air ends at 8:30. So then hopefully they can make their way down there and we can draw at 9:30. We're also having the drawing for the painting that we are raffling off that night too. So.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wonderful. Thank you, Karen. Any other business, anybody?
On Cochran's report, Seraphim Street, where I live, has been marked for underground utilities at least 3 separate times. I mean, it looks like graffiti now. Are they going to go ahead and...
well, there's, you saw them working.
I saw them at the end of the street today doing a little work.
My understanding is that one of their employees called for marking when they first started, the entire project.
Oh,
And so they got the entire project marked.
okay.
And the reason they did that was because they can call them back and it didn't cost anything. And so I thought the same thing. This is silly. I mean, you're marking places you're not going to get to for 4 months. He said, yeah, but it doesn't cost us anything to call them back. So if we lose the markings, then that's what we do. So that's what's going on.
I've got about a dozen yellow flags I pulled out of my yard when I mow. If they want them back,
Yep.
they just knock on the door.
Yeah, they just,
It's been mold.
Yeah.
and after they're done, they don't take the flags out either.
Well, it's not the
They
big
just
deal.
don't do it.
It's like, I did notice this afternoon, there was a little bit of work taking place.
Anything else, anyone?
I have a question, maybe it's not much sense, but I know they tried to annex the Combe property into the city before. It's for sale now. Do we have to wait till it's property sold to try to annex it again?
Obviously, the easiest way would be if they came to us and asked for a voluntary annex.
Friendly annex.
Friendly annex, which nobody, I don't take it that anybody's approached us about that.
We've had, at one point, we had several meetings of an annexation committee, and we just seemed to run into pretty substantial roadblocks. And at that time, I just don't think we went any further because there was nothing really pressing about trying to go further. But I mean, it's certainly something that we need to just always be looking at and thinking about, and I was amazed. I learned so much in that committee, that the amount of detail and the things you have to do to actually get some property annexed. It's a bigger deal than just saying, well, let's just do this. 'Cause I thought it was just, let's just do that. Oh, no, it's a way bigger deal than that.
Hey, Don,
I'm not really sure why seems like it's harder around here to get that. You see other communities annexing a lot, and probably a lot of it's because of utilities, I would think. We're butted up to all the way around us with the public water supply system, which is it's a good system where there's a lot of communities that don't end up having that luxury.
And you have that 2-year obligation to extend services after you annex it to the same level that the people who live in the city are enjoying. So if you don't have a project, then all of a sudden you're sticking sewer lines out in the middle of a soybean field with no users.
But in this case right here, that wouldn't be that big a deal.
On this particular property, no.
Wouldn't be that big a deal at all.
If they came to the city and said, we'd like to be annexed.
Or if it isn't voluntary, and the property owner kind of waives their right to that expectation, you can do it. Something has to happen relative to that service provision.
Right.
Unless it's going to produce tax dollars.
I'm always quite surprised, and maybe I'm missed this whole thing, but no more than what we charge in tax dollars for the city of St. Genevieve. I'm quite surprised why someone would not want to be annexed and get the sewer system, water, and everything else. I'm lost why they would not want that.
But it's got to kind of be beneficial to both parties, the city and the property owner.
Right. Yeah.
So if the city had to spend $200,000 to extend sewer lines for one house,
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't make much sense for the city.
Right. But that's not going to change what the property owner pays for their sewer or their water. That's up to the city to do this.
And I don't want to get with my high horse, but I will. People think when they've got that well in the ground or that septic tank in their backyard that they're not paying for sewer and water, and they pay a little extra electric bill. But if they're properly maintaining their water and sewer system, it's cheaper to be on city sewer and water. Then you just don't pay for it every month. You wait until that big $10,000 bill shows up to fix your septic system.
That's the point I'm getting at. I just don't quite understand that.
The second thing that bothers me a bit is that people who live outside the city still enjoy the services of the city.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's unreasonable to be, if you want to be on a road that takes you to your bank, somebody's got to pay for the road. It's just.
But at the same time, Martin, which I don't know how we would go about doing this at all, some of these people out of the city limits have water, correct? And they pay extra, correct?
They pay about double, though.
Okay, but they have no sewer.
Right.
So how will we go about doing that to get them into the city limits, saying?
I think all of them have been grandfathered going way back. If there's anybody currently, a board years ago passed an ordinance said if there's anybody new annexes, you have to, if you want city water or sewer, you have to be inside the city limits. That ordinance was passed years and years ago, but before that, there was people that were on there, that are still on there, that are grandfathered in, that aren't in the city limits, that have some of the services. They're just grandfathered in, but anybody new that wants it has to be in the city limits. At least that's what the ordinance says. I mean, we've still talking to some people south of town that are still considering doing it. And I think it goes back to the point of what you said, Rick, was I think they were surprised when they found out what their city taxes were going to be. Gosh, you take away the fire tag, which is 50. If you eliminate the fire tag, which they'd be in the city limits, and you take that $50 off and you throw that at what their city taxes would be, I mean, you're not paying much at all as far as to be in the city limits. You're right. The city taxes don't amount to much of anything. I think that's a very good point that people really don't realize. The city taxes are not very much. Their total tax bill, it's this much.
The people that don't live in the city limits realize, they have no idea what little city taxes we pay.
Right.
Property tax and personal tax. They have no idea how cheap it is to live in this city of St. Genevieve.
But as Martin also said, I know going back 10 or 12 years ago when we were talking about maybe going north and annexing some of that, there was comments that was made in several of those meetings, pretty animate comments that was, well, why should we annex? We get somebody, if we call 911, we know who's going to show up. The city police is going to show up before the sheriff's department is, just because they're going to respond, be able to respond faster. So why should we annex and pay city taxes if we're getting all those services anyway? And that's exactly what he's talking about. So.
Sometime in closed session, I would like to go explore some of those things, okay? And I think we need to do.
I don't know.
Personnel, litigation, contracts.
That's all we got in closed
Gotta be
session.
open.
Oh, okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
like the 3 houses before you get to the home property, do they have sewers and all that, or just the water?
Would that be the law office
Yeah.
and,
Go to the other side of the street.
They're not on ours.
Hmm?
They're not on city water.
They're not in city limits.
Neither side of the street is on, the highway is on.
Not the 3 houses that John's talking about.
They don't have, I thought they got city water.
I mean, you're talking about that law office and.
You got a shank over there.
Yeah, they're not on city water.
They're not on city water or not on city sewer?
Neither.
Okay.
Neither. The closest village with city water and sewer are the Ready Mix and the dollar store.
Yeah. This will be interesting. Perceived, it really would be.
we maybe need to get that committee, revive that and take some more looks at those things.
If there's any real interest of trying to do something.
You know, honestly,
If it's just
if it's just that property, it's got to be voluntary.
yeah.
They get 1 vote, and they're the only voter. They don't want to do it. Then you have, well, I guess then you go to a double, then you do the vote of the city. Yeah, you go with the second vote.
We keep Combs doing, I'm sure Mississippi Line's going to follow that.
Didn't Mississippi Line buy some of that property?
I heard that they did. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Can I say something
Oh,
before we
sure.
adjourn? I like this 5:30 meeting. Does anyone else?
I like the Wednesday meeting also.
Yeah, I like this 5:30 meeting.
Absolutely.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something we should talk about a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, well, I like this 5:30 meeting. This is great.
Whatever you, staff likes it.
It's up to you. It's
No, I think it'd be better.
your pleasure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Closed session that we can't talk about.
Well, think about it. Well, if you want to, next meeting, we'll, if you want to make that permanent, bring it up at the next meeting.
I like this.
Ambulance district has theirs at 5:15, that works good.
Buck, do you like this at 5:30?
Yeah, like I said, we do our ambulance district.
Yes.
What night's the ambulance is it? What night do they need?
We're on Thursday.
Okay, straw poll here.
We can do
Everyone like,
Wednesday, right?
Randy, you like
I like
5:30?
the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Matter.
All right.
I mean, you know,
Joe?
I'd be in favor of it.
What else?
Does
The
the
kids say.
date, does the day?
I like the Wednesday better than Thursday.
Matter to me a bit.
Ours is the first Thursday, so I'd be all right. I mean, the ambulance district.
We got conflicts on any other windows?
You're fixing. Other than
Oh,
that's right. That'd be good. That'd save me.
we have TV program.
We have to be done by 7, right?
Yeah, we have to be done by.
For what's new?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we got something, don't we, Tom?
I'm in favor, officially.
All right, we'll talk about it.
That, honestly, and I don't want to, but sometimes we have closed sessions before or after.
Yeah.
and,
I think it's just something that's going
We
to.
won't have closed sessions before 5:30, so all of our closed session considerations will come after.
Well, we could have a closed
That's
session at
fine.
5.
what about this? What about this?
Well, I think it's a bigger conversation that we probably won't get anything decided right this second, don't you?
Yeah, that's
it is.
Everybody check their schedules and check the schedule for the room
I've
and
done check.
Not that we have big.
mine's the same as
Mine's
yours,
open.
yeah.
Think too, though, and I don't know that it's really any big problems. Obviously, you all can make it, and I think most people would be able to make it by 5:30. That I don't know if you'll get any feedback as
Yeah.
far as, we don't have big, usually have big attendances at the meetings, but we're not keeping people by having it early, early, I think most people will be able to still make it at 5:30 versus 7 anyway, so. just- it's a kind
If we get a lot of
feedback.
complaints, we can always change it
Yeah,
back.
sure.
We'll
All right,
change it.
we'll talk
change
about
it
that
to
at next
12:30.
Yeah. I second the motion to adjourn.
All right. Did you get a first? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.